Hey guys, the Guitar King here. I know we're a little close up here. Today we're gonna, right for this video, let's get to the point. We are not doing guitar playing today. Yay, no more guitar playing here. No, that's gonna be for, I'm gonna save that for when we start doing Audio Slave and Velvet Revolver and a whole bunch of other stuff. But today, you guys asked for it. Well, you guys didn't ask for it. I posted something saying that I was done like a month ago and haven't done around to it, but I finally have time to do it because we got the big snowstorm. I only work 4 hours today, so I present to you, to all the Tom Morello fans out there, like myself and Tom Morello, who's a fan of himself, and real quickly, Mike Svensson. He is a guitar player from Sweden who has his own channel, which I recommend checking out. If you like me doing Tom Morello covers, you'll like him because he's even better than I am. He's from Sweden. He's played with Prophets of Rage before doing Bulls on Parade. He played on Tom Morello's I'm the Homeless guitar, on Tom Morello's amplifier, on Tom Morello's guitar pedals, on Tom Morello's stage. So I definitely recommend checking him out. I've been commenting on his videos. He's been commenting on mine. He's given me some advice on, what advice, did he have for me, because I'm going to be trying to start a Rage Against the Machine cover band, which he has had a couple of them. So I asked him, what advice do you have for me becoming a, you know, Tom Morello and the Rage Against the Machine cover band. And he was saying, how be true to yourself, how to enjoy performing as much as you like listening to the music. A lot of people forget it's not just about playing covers, it's about playing music for the enjoyment of others. So, that's a big key. That's what I think everybody should understand, And I think cover bands are really good when you're starting out, playing any kind of instrument, really. Pick a musician or pick a band that you really like. Get together with some friends who either like the same music as you, like the same band as you, or in my case, nobody really knows the music except for me, but they just were like they just like playing music, so they're very optimistic. So, which is really good. So that's enough talking. We have something here that is actually very special to me, even though it's a little banged up. This is, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, man. This was a dream of a lifetime at the time. I have the Tom Morello Autobiography, Whatever It Takes. How did I require something like this? How did I acquire something like this for free? Actually, very simple. I was at school. I was a junior, and um, the librarian there said, I'm gonna be ordering new books for the year. So if anybody has any books they want us to get and put in the library, that way you guys can check it out. That would be great. So I'm not a big reader. I just never been a big fan of books. I've been a big fan of guitars. I have autism and ADHD. I can't really read that much because it makes me tired and I need to move. That's why I love playing guitar. That's why I love working at Tractor Supply. Because I get to use my ADHD and all that energy and point it into something that's either going to be useful or something that I like. So, but as a big fan of Tom Morello, I needed this book, so I didn't know how I was going to get it, so that was a perfect time. I told it, I said, well, there's something that's not exactly like a big story, but it's an autobiography. That's one that I've always wanted, but they just seemed a little pricey. Um, she said, "Okay, what is it?" I said, "It's called Whatever It Takes by Tom Morello, the guitar player for Rage Against the Machine." Surprisingly, she knew who I was talking about, so she was looking online and looking at the prices. She said, "This ain't bad at all." She said, "I can try to get it for you, um, you know." And I understood that it wasn't gonna be mine. It was just gonna be mine to borrow, not mine to own. So, uh, got it in. I read it, and I'm gonna read it again after this because it's a really good book. Um, and you know, it's it's the only book that I can remember actually enjoying reading. Um, so fast forward a year, and it turned out that I was the only student. I kept recommending it to everybody, but I'm the only student from Sanford High School at the time that actually checked this book out. I've checked it out for teachers. There's two teachers I checked this book out for. But, you know, I'm the only student, so I checked this book out time and time again. And one day I checked this book out. She's like, you're the only student that's checked this book out. I'm like, yeah, I know. Because nobody likes him as much as I do, which is great, more for me. So she said, yeah, maybe, we can talk later and maybe I'll give it to you as a graduation gift. I'm like, oh, that's new. So, um, but I thought she was just joking, right? She was just joking. So, the final time I checked this book out, she was taking a look at it. And she told me to say this again. I'm like, this again. I need one more time. Because I'm going to be leaving. This book is going to be staying here. I'll have to find somewhere else to get it. So she looked at it. Okay, there's a couple, not destroyed stuff, but just a little wear and tear from me taking out so much, me reading it a lot, stuff you'd expect. So she said, as she was doing it, she told me, she said, while, you know, while this is still in good condition, nobody checks it out but me. She said, I know how much you wanted this book. You've told me a million times what this book means to you. She said, so I'm going to take it out of the catalog. I'm like, take it out of the catalog? I told you to order it that way we could have it in the catalog. And then she hands it to me and says, you are a great guitar player. She said, I'm proud of what you've become, in Sanford High School, now that at the time I was close to graduating. She said, I want to give you this book as a graduation gift. She said, it is yours. Take it home and enjoy it for the rest of your life. I could not believe it. I finally, after years, 2 years, well, first of all, after years of wanting to read it, and after 2 years of me just borrowing it, the book dream came true, and I now am a proud owner of this autobiography, which is kind of hard to get. So nobody has it in bookstores. They have Dave Grohl books, they have, other books, but not anything on Tom Morello. So this is incredible. This is like a signature guitar, except for book form. So, but let's open it up because I want to show you guys some of the pictures that are here. First of all, the front and back covers are all of these, which are all the notes that Tom Morello has written on the back of his I'm the Homeless guitar. Some of the ones that stand out to me, and most of them is actually, not only is it just notes on the guitar, on the back of the guitar, he's actually playing the guitar with his teeth. Um, and most people are like, oh, he's not really doing that. He's actually shown how to do it. So, of course, it's real. So, there's one, let's see, the most iconic one for me anyway, because it's the very first one I ever saw, was the original, well, not the original, but the original message, the F Trump, which I don't swear. I personally don't swear. Because, for one, I am living under my mom and my dad's house. I'm living under the roof. There are rules. Up to, it's just out of respect. However, we have a rule. I can listen to the music, I can read this stuff. As long as I don't repeat it, I'm good. So, there we go. There's one on here that I really like. Cornell Forever. Chris Cornell, the late and great Chris Cornell from Audioslave, Soundgarden, Temple of the Dog, his solo stuff. Like a Stone was the very first song I've ever heard of from Tom Morello, but that also got me turned on to Chris Cornell, because that was the first song I ever heard about from Chris Cornell. So that, he is a legendary singer. Legendary. And is still, because he's still around. In the spirit of music, he's still around. So, there's one that said, nobody for president. Yeah, nobody for president. That'd be great. And racism, everybody would love to do that. Ozzy Rules, with him standing next to Ozzy. I can't breathe. Oh, that sucks. It's gonna take 2 minutes. 2 minutes to set the clock. Not my president. I think he is. If not for you, then who? F Pence, that went with the F Trump one. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not political. I don't understand it, nor do I want to. I listen to Tom Morello for the guitar playing and the guitar playing only. I don't care about his views on political views. I'm, good that you have them, but if he dropped guitar, I would be like, okay, I'm going away. But if he dropped political and stayed guitar playing, great. That's kind of what he did in Audioslave. So, yeah. He also has some different languages too, which is kind of cool. So, now to finally get past that, because this is going to be a long video, a lot to cover in this book. There's some introductions, or forewords actually. One from Michael Moore, who, if you don't know who that is, that's Rage Against the Machine's. That is actually their manager, or was. One from Dan Wenner, not sure who that is. By Nora Guthrie, I think that's actually, that is Woody Guthrie's daughter. Forward by Chuck D. Everybody knows who Chuck D is. He's from Public Enemy and also from Pups of Rage. And then, Wistful Ace had some pictures like this, where it's notes that he wrote that he actually was able to put onto the piece of paper here. Like, this is how to be your own record company. And in the introduction by Tom Morello, which I actually want to read because I do like what he says here. This is the introduction by Tom Morello. This is a photo book about a lifelong mission. A mission that more often can be felt rather than articulated. These are clues to the nature of the mission in the guitar riffs, the crazy solos, which he has a ton of, the lyrics, and in the shared sweat, and blood of friends and comrades on stage and off. So I'm just gonna read a snippet of it. That's the part I like the most, to be honest, because you know, he doesn't just say, this is a book about my life. He's illustrating it a little bit to grab your attention, like how an author is supposed to be. So, oh look. Not only is there the original electric sheet set list, which was right before Rage Against the Machine. Who wants to see Tom Morello as a baby? You do. So that's Tom Morello as a baby, and when he was little. And you can kind of tell that that's him. So, and what's kind of cool is that they do have a picture of Mary Morello when she was young and her family. That is Tom Morello's mom, Mary Morello, and Isabel Morello is his aunt, who he's done many things with, many tributes to. Every year for St. Patrick's Day, he goes to his aunt's gravestone and spends the holiday with her, which I think is super cool. It's got a whole bunch of neat pictures. This is what I want to show because it is a picture. I don't know if you see it. There we go. Tom Morello's very first guitar. That is a K20T SG made by K Guitars. And he was at a guitar store, or I think at some kind of pawn shop or guitar store, I don't know. But it was $50, and then it was like you could get it for $50 to get a guitar amp combination set that costed $100. So $50 for the amp and $50 for the guitar. So his mom said, might be a cool thing for you to start on. I'm gonna help you with it. She said, I'm gonna pay for the amp, but you're gonna pay for the guitar to learn some responsibility, obviously. So that guitar never stayed in tune, but you know what? It got him started. Just like one of my guitars, and has a hard time staying in tune, especially with the whammy bar. But you know what? It works for me, so I can relate to him. And then Adam Jones was actually a student, and in one of Tom Morello's, like way back in the day before Rage Against the Machine and before Electric Sheep's, no, actually it's in the Electric Sheep that they were together. Adam Jones was the bassist, but his mom taught at the school they were at. Mary Morello taught at the school they were at, and Mary was Adam Jones' homeroom teacher. So that, I think, is kind of cool, So, and then he was in a couple other bands, The Zoo, which was, they covered Queen songs, so, which is kind of cool. I never thought of Tom Morello being a big Queen fan, but, And then Lock Up, which was the band right before Rage Against the Machine started, and this is when this is 1988. He got all of his gear was stolen on a fateful Valentine's Day in 1988. And he had a session the next day for lockup. So he had to just go to this guitar shop and just get what they had and not be picky. What they had for an amplifier was a was a Marshall JCM 800 2205 50-watt amplifier head and a 4x12 PV VTM cabinet. And he did not, paired with the Arm the Homeless that he just recently got right before that, which was just like a Strat custom or something that he didn't like, so he tore up the whole thing, and the only remaining part of that guitar, that original guitar, is the body. Everything else is different, so, which is kind of cool. So he painted, well, the singer of Lockup painted the amplifier, and with like some of his designs, you know, and Tom never washed it off. It's still there today. You look at close-ups of his amplifier, it's still there, which is kind of cool. So, this is the first picture of Tom Morello with his Arm the Homeless guitar. And then this guitar I'm going to show you, because he used to practice 8 hours a day when he was young. And that's the guitar that he practiced on. That was his second guitar. So, and then, so that was before Rage Against the Machine. Now we're going into Rage. You know, it's got everything. It's got the before. It's got Rage Against the Machine. It's got Audio Slave. It's got, you know, Props to Rage. It's got Night Watchman. It's got Sweeper Social Club. It's got Atlas Underground. So it's got mostly everything that it needs to cover. So, so some pictures I want to show you. That's the Arm the Homeless right there. There's not an Arm the Homeless signature guitar, but they're like clones, you know, that people make because why not? And that's something I want to get. Let's see. I'm not going to show you the picture because I'm not like that, but the PMRC protests, basically what happened with that was, at the time, you know, PMRC was going up. It's basically like parents who want censorship on everything. Well, they don't like censorship, so there's a guy who's like, hey, you know, can you play here? They're like, yeah, sure. Tom Morello said, you want Rage Against the Machine, you got Rage Against the Machine. They stood on the stage with no clothes, with tape over their mouths, and Tim is P, Zach is M, Brad is R, and Tom is C. Which is great because he's a Cubs fan, so C for Cubs. This is a guitar with like, I think it's a St. George MP2, I think it was. Creamy. I'm not even sure if that thing's made of wood, but he bought that at Toronto for 40 Canadian dollars. And the cool thing about that guitar is that that's the one he recorded for Tire Me, which got them their first Grammy. And then that is where they recorded the entire Evil Empire album in one shot. One shot, recorded the whole album, done. Which is kind of cool. So, and then the Sendero Luminosa guitar. I'm just showing you guys pictures of what I like, but there's so much here that it's gonna take a day to go through and read. More than a day, so. And then they broke up, got reunited, but when they broke up, Oh yeah, and I can't forget Tom Morello in Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock. No one can. Like, that's a story and a half for me. When I was at little, with the Chuck E. Cheese times, they had the Guitar Hero arcade game. And I was always this guy with, like, just a regular baseball cap, nice shirt and jeans, that's it. To my surprise, I was being Tom Morello. I had no idea who that was yet, so I got a different kind of game, Guitar Hero game for my house, and I started playing Rage Against the Machine songs. My dad was really getting me into that. I'm like, this is good, but the guitar player looks a lot familiar. So I had a theory that it was him on Guitar Hero, but I needed to make sure. So the next time we went to a bowling alley, which had an arcade that had Guitar Hero in it, I'm like, I gotta see this once and for all. And yeah, I was literally being my idol without even knowing it, which is really cool. So now, Audio Slave. Audio Slave is really what started it for me when it came to Tom Morello. When it came to Like a Stone, that song, that's what really started out for me when it came to Tom Morello. So, and look, the guitar he used it for, the soul power guitar, it looks kind of like the one I have, just mine's a little different. But that's the guitar I want, the signature version. This is kind of cool. The Cochise video, because that was shot on the top of, I don't know. I really don't know what, I don't know where they were, but they were on top of big, like, I don't know what it is, but a big platform or something. And that video was shot with fireworks and fireworks only. So what was cool about that is cops came down because some people were like, it's a terrorist attack, everybody run! So I always find that funny. And then them on the late show, they were on top of David Letterman's like hangover to play a couple Audio Slave songs. And that's probably what really got them known. And then this is him on his Digitech Randy, which is the #1 pedal for Tom Morello. That in the wall. And then his noise chart, which tells him how to do all of his crazy noises. What guitar to use, what pedals to use, how to do it, And that's his noise chart. So, this is him with his Ibanez Talman Custom, which has the finish of a Kenyan flag that Ibanez made for him, which is kind of cool. And then his Revelations guitar, the Revelations album for Audio Slave. This was a Budweiser guitar. All those Budweiser guitars that I've seen, like a Stratocaster one in real life, but not a Les Paul one. Basically, the story on that is he wanted, a new guitar for the album, or he just acquired it. He loved the sound and the looks of it. He loved the color, but did not like the Budweiser logo on it. So what he did was, one day he was in the studio, he's like, I gotta get rid of this. So he takes a lighter, goes outside, takes a lighter, and burns off the Budweiser logo, everything that was on it, and then asked for Chris Cornell's like steel wool. No, it was Chris Cornell's lighter, and he used some steel wool to shave it down until nothing was left of it. And that's all the white that's on there, which I've always thought that looks super cool. But and then Street Sweeper Social Club with Boots Riley, and when he was in that band, everybody was like, you know, your band is good, but your guitar player is ripping off Tom Morello. And of course, you have to explain to him, well, our guitar player is Tom Morello, so his night watching stuff, which I don't really follow too much because I like electric guitar better, and you know, but I like the guitar playing, not really the singing and all that. Not a huge fan of Tom Morello singing. I know that's gonna blow up on the comments. I'm sorry, I've heard better. But I guess I will show you, because whenever he practices or writes songs, it's on a nylon string acoustic guitar. So that's the one he used for the Night Watchman. And that has Whatever Takes on it. Kind of looks familiar, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyways. But, and then, let me see if I can get it better. There's one I want to talk to you about. It's when he was playing, with Bruce Springsteen. One day, he is a huge Bruce Springsteen fan, probably the biggest one that Bruce has. And Bruce said, when they talked for a little bit, they said, whenever you want to play with us, just tell us. Tom Morello said, okay. So like a week later, he calls him and he goes, remember how you asked me if you wanted me to play with you, just tell you? How about next week? So they said, alright, goes to Tom Joad. So he practiced it, and got it completely down. He went to rehearsal one day and found out, to his surprise, that Bruce had raised the key by 8 steps. So now it's a song that Morello doesn't know how to play, and it's the night before. So Bruce put his hand over his shoulder, or put his hand on his shoulder and said, Tommy, which nobody calls him Tommy except for his mom. Says, Tommy, we're gonna play in this key. This is gonna sound great, and it's gonna sound awesome. He's like, thanks, Lord Vader or Darth Vader, but I still don't know how to play it. So he thought, there are 20 million people in the E Street Band. The chorus he doesn't have to worry about. So he just played some nice bluesy licks in the studio, and then when it came time for him to shine, he said, you surprised me with the key, I'm going to surprise you with an explosive guitar solo. And he did just a little bit, and Bruce was like, keep going, you're doing great, just keep going, I'll tell you when to stop. And he didn't tell him to stop for a while, so that's when he started doing the scratching stuff. So, that I always think is super cool. And then Prophets of Rage. When they started doing shows for free, or for all the money that they made, it would be donated to some kind of charity or some kind of organization. So, this was when the first time Trump became president, and they used that to their advantage to create new music. And I'm not saying anything bad about Trump. I'm not talking about him specifically or anything. I'm just saying that was their way of sparking some new creativity, new imaginations, and new ideas. So, um, my dad actually had the chance to see Prophets of Rage. They were playing in a casino in Connecticut, and he said, "Okay, that's kind of cool." But he backed out because of the mosh pit. You do not want to go into a mosh pit, let me tell you that. Especially, we come to concerts for the music, not for the mosh pit. So he backed out. But Mike Svensson played with him. That was super cool. You can see him with Dave Grohl kicking out the jams. Literally playing kicking out the jams. And then Mary Morello in the studio with some new radical ideas. And Mary Morello is 101. She'll be 102 this year, which will be super cool. Chris Cornell. This was Props Race to the show where Chris Cornell did 3 songs with them from Audio Slave. And that was the last Audio Slave concert, pretty much Audio Slave concert that anyone ever saw. Because he passed away with suicide. So if you are dealing with depression, talk to somebody, but that's, another topic for another day. There's one picture I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to try to cover one of the pictures because it's a little gruesome. It's showing what he had done to his hand. He broke his fourth, or something happened to his, he shattered his fourth metacarpal during the Prophets of Rage European tour. So he had it fixed, so it's showing what they put in to help him out, which is kind of gruesome. So I'm gonna, viewer distraction is advice, so I'm gonna cover it. But this guitar is an Ibanez Artstar custom made from Ibanez to Tom Morello as a gift. That is my dream guitar of all time. I would love to have that. And then his Atlas Underground stuff. So, and that's pretty much after the Atlas Underground stuff, that's really it. But, you see a whole bunch of guitar players together. Tom's in the picture, Zakk Wylde / Jimmy Page. Let me see. Who do we know? There's John Frusciante, Tom Morello, Jimmy Page / Joe Perry, Zakk Wylde. The other 3 I'm not super familiar with, but that is pretty much it. And then that's the end of it. So it's gonna take a while if we were to try to review this book, in its full, read everything, look at everything. It's gonna take a while, but I just wanted to show you guys some of my favorite stuff from it. So, but if you like what you see on this channel, like what you hear, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And give me feedback. Comment, give me feedback. I say it every single time we talk. Give me feedback. That's one of my favorite things. So, I'll see you guys after we do this video gets posted. I'm going to start doing some Audio Slave and Velvet Revolver stuff and some more stuff from different bands. So, stay tuned. The Guitar King over and out. Rock and roll. And thank you, Tom Morello, for that wonderful book.